In the first Freak Shows video, there was a segment where I talk about how some people try to steal the bones of these characters from their graves to sell for profit or even keep them to enrich their collections. This is the story of Myrtle Corbin. Josephine Myrtle Corbin was born on May 12 of 1868 in Lincoln County, Tennessee. Her mother, Nancy Corbin, and the doctors and nurses didn't have any problems delivering Myrtle. Everything was fine, and thank God, because Myrtle was born with 4 legs, 2 regular ones, while the other 2 were tiny. After examining the baby, the doctors turned towards the parents, William and Nancy, because they noticed a very intriguing resemblance. They looked very much alike, as if they were cousins or something. The doctors wanted to know the reason for the extra limbs on the child. Plus, Nancy was in her mid-30s, so back in the day, that was kind of dangerous, and there was this weird belief that if the couple had a significant age gap, there was a risk of having issues. William was 25, while Nancy was 34. But the couple had 2 kids before Myrtle, and they were fine, and no, the couple was not related to each other. Myrtle's case was interesting because she was born with dipygus, a congenital deformity that causes duplication of the limbs. Myrtle's axis split in her pelvic area, creating 2 of them with their respective legs. And you know how people are. Someone inside the hospital told the newspapers, and journalists immediately flew to see Myrtle. They stated that she was a very healthy 10-pound baby girl and thriving in perfect conditions. Growing up, it was clear that Myrtle's inner legs were too short to walk with and were weaker, meaning she could move the extra limbs, but they were not functional. Her childhood was as normal as it could be for a 4-legged little girl. Everyone around the block wanted to see her walk, play, talk. So at 13, William thought of a business decision. He started charging people a dime to see Myrtle. He even made flyers and put ads in the newspaper. His pitch? Come see the 4-legged girl who's as gentle of disposition as the summer sunshine and as happy as the day is long. True statement, by the way. People all over the county started talking about Myrtle, making the family interested in traveling to nearby cities. So they did, and were doing just fine. And someone who smelled that money was none other than P.T. Barnum. The family made a deal, making Myrtle start working as one of Barnum's freak shows, known as the 4-legged girl from Texas. Her show was so popular that other circuses wanted to mimic it by hiring people and attaching fake legs. By 18, she decided to retire and restart her life. She met a doctor and got married the next year. In 1887, she started feeling quite ill. Fever, no appetite, headaches, and intense pain on the left side of her lower abdomen. The doctors checked her, finding 2 things. 1, she had 2 sets of female reproductive systems, and 2, she was pregnant and the baby was forming in her left uterus. And even though her anatomy was out of the ordinary, the doctors saw no problem with her having children. But Myrtle's health deteriorated in the past weeks, so by month 3, she had to return to the doctor's office for a consultation. Unfortunately, the doctors thought the better solution was to terminate the pregnancy. Devastating news, but don't worry, she and her husband ended up being parents of 5 healthy kids. They lived a nice life back in Cleburne, Texas. Her case still lingered in the medical realm though. By 1909, the family had money problems, making Myrtle return to the scene. The 41-year-old appeared in the Hubbard's Museum and many circuses and carnivals up to 1915. On May 6 of 1928, Myrtle had a streptococcal skin infection that took her life. Sadly, after the news about her death was propagated, grotesque individuals tried to buy or steal her corpse. From doctors to circuses, they were flocking the family to get a deal or even steal Myrtle from the grave. And that's why the family decided to pour concrete over her casket, and they stayed guarding until the concrete was set. Everywhere she went, people had nothing but kind words about her. From great musical taste, intelligence, pretty, and overall a wonderful woman who, despite her unique appearance, was living her life like everybody else. Myrtle was a beautiful soul that we won't forget. I hope I see you next time. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Stay safe.